Hey guys, it's Vaughn. In today's video, Ann and I teamed up with the National Peanut Board to help spread awareness about the new guidelines and resources available to parents for preventing peanut allergies in young children. There's a ton of helpful information on the website preventpeanutallergies.org, where you can learn all about the new guidelines for the recommended ways to introduce baby-friendly peanut foods to your infant, which can greatly reduce your baby's chance of developing a peanut allergy to begin with. This site is a great resource along with the guidance and support of your child's pediatrician, of course. There's even a section that offers 5 easy ways to introduce peanut foods to your infant, plus actual peanut-infused recipe suggestions to really empower parents with actionable information and ideas. I think this is a very important initiative, especially for new parents. So in support of this campaign, we're sharing a step-by-step recipe of one of our favorite vegan snacks from scratch, made with, you guessed it, creamy, delicious peanut butter. Now, while this snack is not for infants, I am so excited to share this recipe with you guys because it is definitely a crowd favorite in my home. My husband, who is not a vegan, loves these cookies, but I'm also really big on sharing experiences with Ann because I think it's important to take an all-inclusive approach with your child by incorporating them into some of the things that you're most passionate about. So throughout this video, I'll be sharing my tips on how I safely incorporate Ann into my process of preparing meals and snacks, and how we make this more of a fun learning experience while spending some quality time together. No, it is not easy cooking with a toddler, but it is doable and extremely beneficial. All right, let's get started. I think an important first step is to read through the recipe in its entirety and to pre-measure all your ingredients. Here's what you'll need: 2 whole bananas, 3/4 cup of creamy peanut butter, 2 cups of old-fashioned oats, 1 cup of coconut flour, ½ cup of vegan chocolate chips, 1 tablespoon of vanilla flavoring, 3 tablespoons of pure maple syrup, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and baking powder. Next, I like to prepare my bakeware so that it's ready once the mixture is ready. So here I'm just lining my cookie sheet with some parchment paper. Next, I'm going to go ahead and separately blend all of my dry ingredients. This is just going to make for a more flawless blend in the end. I really love the idea of using the coconut flour because it is so fragrant and delicious. It really makes for a nice touch for cookies. You could also substitute the cinnamon for nutmeg. You can always add more chocolate chips. This recipe has a lot of flexibility based on your tastes. Now that the dry ingredients are blended, it's time to get the wet ingredients ready, starting with smashing up these bananas, which was for sure Ann's favorite part of this whole recipe. All I'm doing here is peeling my 2 bananas and tossing them in this large stainless steel bowl. And also, speaking of bananas, you guys can use more than 2 for this recipe if you like. There's definitely room for 3 or 4 bananas if you choose. And of course, there are many different ways to mash up your bananas. You could use a fork, you could use your hands. I'm just using this potato masher that I got from the dollar store. And I'm just going to mash these until the consistency becomes a little loose and very wet. And don't worry if your consistency is super wet, because remember, we do have to add the dry ingredients and that's going to solidify everything. This was so fun doing this, even for me. So to my banana mush, I'm going to add my creamy peanut butter, my maple syrup, and my vanilla flavoring. If you're not into vanilla flavoring, you could always use any kind of flavoring. And if you're not into the maple syrup, you can always use honey or agave nectar. It is totally up to you. And I'm just going to stir this until it becomes more of a paste. Now it's time to blend all of my ingredients together, dry and wet. I'm just going to use the big stainless steel bowl to do so because it's going to give me more room to stir and fold this thing. After about 2 or 3 minutes of stirring, you'll notice that the consistency becomes more of your typical standard cookie dough. Now it's ready to be placed on the cookie sheet. I chose to distribute my cookie portions in 1 tablespoon amounts, but you could always do them larger. Just keep in mind that larger, thicker cookies will take a little longer to cook. And these cookies don't spread as they cook either, so keep that in mind. So in the oven they go for about 15 to 20 minutes at 350 degrees. So I have a ton of cookie dough left over because this recipe makes about 24 bite-sized cookies. So I'm going to save the rest by placing the leftover dough in a Ziploc bag and popping it in the fridge. Ann was super excited about these cookies coming out of the oven. She kind of just hung out in the kitchen the whole time, just kind of waiting around. So she was really looking forward to this. I took them out about 17 minutes in because they looked perfect to me, and so as you can see, they maintain their shape and they're cooked perfectly at the bottom thanks to the parchment paper. I'm so happy with the way these turned out, you guys, and I am not good at baking at all. I'm more of a stovetop kind of girl, but I wanted to give these a try because they're super easy and they are seriously Anne's favorite cookies at the moment. And I'm just glad I was able to share one of our favorite recipes with you all. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you will give this recipe a try. I will put all of the details in the description box. I will also provide a link to the preventpeanutallergies.org website to all of you new parents who might want to check that out. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you in my next one. Bye!